You know, for the longest time, we've been taught that intelligence is all about things you can measure, right? Grades, test scores, how well you can memorize facts. But what if the real signs of a sharp mind are actually hidden in plain sight, in the things we do every single day?
So that's the big question we're going to dig into. We're going to explore these psychological patterns that science has actually linked to a higher IQ. And as we go through them, just kind of see how many of these feel familiar to you. So let's just push all that old school stuff to the side for a minute. This explainer isn't about how you did on your SATs. It's about the subtle habits, the way you think, and that little spark of curiosity that really defines an intelligent mind. We're diving into the hidden side of being smart. All right, let's dive right into our first sign. And this one, well, this one might surprise you, because it's something a lot of us see as a negative.
Yep, you heard me right. Overthinking. But we're not talking about spiraling into anxiety here. For really intelligent minds, it's more like a deep-seated curiosity. It's an instinct to look at a problem from every single angle. It's the difference between just reacting to something and really, truly understanding it.
And believe it or not, there's a scientific name for this. It's called cognitive reflection. It's basically the ability to hit pause on your first instinct and think a little deeper. So instead of just seeing a headline and accepting it, you stop and ask, wait, who wrote this? What's the other side of the story? That pause, that is where real problem solving begins.
Okay, so moving on to sign number 2, which really builds on this whole idea of thinking deeper. This one is all about your appetite for knowledge.
Have you ever found yourself falling down some internet rabbit hole at 2 in the morning, learning about, ancient Roman plumbing? That's not a distraction. That is a massive sign of intellectual hunger. Your brain is always looking for new information, making connections that other people just don't see.
And this isn't just some random idea, It's backed by actual research. This personality trait, openness to experience, is really about being flexible in your thinking. It means you're willing to play with new, abstract, and sometimes even weird ideas. And that is a huge driver of both creativity and intelligence.
All right, let's get to our third sign. And this one kind of flips the script on what we think of as a social skill.
So are you that person in the meeting who's usually the quietest one in the room? You're not being distant or checked out. You're probably processing everything on a much deeper level. While everyone else is talking, you're listening, you're observing, and you're picking up on all the stuff that gets missed, the tone of voice, what's not being said.
This skill actually has a name. It's called active observation. And it's not just about being quiet. It's about actively collecting data from the world around you. It's a really powerful mix of analytical smarts and emotional intelligence. It just goes to show you a sharp mind and a perceptive heart often go hand in hand.
Okay, number 4. Now this one might sound completely backwards at first, but stick with me here.
I know, doubting yourself sounds like a weakness, right? But it's actually a huge strength. This isn't about having low self-esteem. It's about having intellectual humility. It's about being smart enough to know what you don't know. And that, my friends, is a total game changer.
And this slide just lays it out so perfectly. On one side, you have intellectual humility. Knowing your limits is what keeps you curious and keeps you learning. But on the other side, you have the Dunning-Kruger effect, which is basically when someone doesn't know enough to realize how little they know. So that little bit of self-doubt you feel, it's a good thing. It's your brain's way of keeping you humble and hungry for more knowledge.
And that brings us to our 5th and final sign, which is all about how you recharge your brain.
Now, this gets a bad rap. People think it means you're antisocial. But that's not it at all. For a highly intelligent mind, solitude isn't about being lonely. It's about creating space. It's where you can think deeply, connect ideas, and really make sense of the world without a million distractions.
And again, there's actual science to this. For a brain that's always firing on all cylinders, constant socializing can actually be pretty draining. Solitude is where the breakthroughs happen. It's not about avoiding people, it's about choosing deep thought over small talk.
So look, if you're a bit of an overthinker, a quiet observer who sometimes doubts yourself, and who loves your alone time, I want this to sink in. You're not weird. You're just wired for deeper thinking. These aren't random quirks. They are the marks of a highly intelligent mind at work.
So let's put it all together. Think of this as your personal blueprint for deeper thinking. These aren't just signs to look for, they're skills you can actually practice. Embrace that analytical side of you, feed your curiosity. Really listen to people. Be humble enough to know you don't have all the answers. And protect your time to be alone and just think.
So I want to leave you with this one final thought to reflect on. After hearing all this, take a minute to think about your own habits, your own quirks. In what ways has your intelligence been secretly showing up this whole time, just hidden in plain sight?